Yo, what is up, you guys? Big for another video. And today's video, I know you see the Naruto headband. You know, this motherfucker kind of clean, and it's really like it's a metal plate for real. Like I did do the exams, I did pass, that's why I have my headband, you know what I'm saying? But today we're gonna be reacting to 3 true solo trips horror story animated by the boy IMR. I always say that weird, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, we just did it and you guys liked it, so I said okay. So I said why not react to it again. On another note, I did almost throw up in the gym today. I went to the gym, I did core. I literally almost threw up, y'all. No bullshit. I literally, like, I said, like that. I thought this thing is finna fall 82nd, but let's just jump into it, man. I have a whole playlist. Let's go.
If I hadn't have opened the door that night, I might have survived the week alone. I arrived at the cabin late in the afternoon. The sky was rumbling with dark clouds. My mother had just passed away, and I needed time away from everyone. The forest surrounding the cabin was vast and silent.
Though?
The isolation was intense, but that's exactly why I chose this place. The sky was rumbling with dark clouds. That night, a storm hit. The wind howled, lashing at the trees and shaking the windows. The thunder cracked so loudly I thought it might split the roof. Lying in bed with a heavy heart, memories of my mother raced through my mind. Suddenly, I heard a knock. At first, I thought it was just the tree branches, but soon the knocking changed into thudding. Someone was desperately hitting my door with their fists.
Oh.
A little nervous, I swung my legs off the bed, my mind struggling to understand who could be at this hour.
You didn't grab a weapon, my nigga? Bro, he just got up and just sprung right out of bed. Bro, go grab a weapon, bro. I don't think this is in it, like... Bro, you by yourself in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I don't know why you didn't grab a weapon. I know you tired and shit, you probably can't think, but I'm grabbing a weapon instantly. Like, anything could be a weapon. A lamp, Lysol, mic, anything could be a weapon. So if I'm him, I would have grabbed a weapon instantly.
Was the only one here. I opened the door and found a man, soaked to the bone. His hair was clinging to his forehead. Bloodstains on his shirt were so big that it didn't go unnoticed. He looked like he'd been through hell.
Yeah.
Trembling in fear, he said, "My wife, we crashed near the creek. She's hurt, unconscious. This was the only house with lights on." I didn't hesitate. Grabbing my raincoat and flashlight,
I don't know where y'all come from, how y'all was raised, but there is no way. I don't even think my soul spiritually would let me do some shit like this. Like, I'm not even bullshitting. Like, I don't care. I ain't gonna, he could have told the sobbiest story of all time. I can't do it. I'd have made up. I can't do it. Sir, I need your help. No.
Followed him into the night. We reached the wreckage just by the creek. The car skidded off the road and into a shallow ditch. Inside, a woman lay unconscious.
Is that a bullet
oozing from her head? She wasn't moving. My chest tightened, and without a word, the man and I pulled her from the wreckage and carried her back to the cabin. I disinfected her wound, bandaged it as best as I could, and tucked her into my bed.
No police don't exist?
The man changed into my dry clothes.
Now he wearing your fucking clothes? Am I tripping or what? Now he wearing your clothes? What is he gonna start eating your food next? What, he gonna start fucking your bitch next? Like, bro, that's the questions I gotta ask. Like, damn, this nigga too comfortable, bro.
Storm raging outside, the cabin must have felt like a rescue to the poor guy. I poured us both a glass of wine, trying to ease the tension that hung in the air. I broke the silence. How did the accident happen?
That's a good question.
The man took a sip, and then his story began. He said they were visiting her parents. The more he spoke, I started seeing inconsistencies in his story. His words seemed to drift, and his eyes flickered with confusion.
He's obviously lying,
couldn't remember
bro.
Simple details.
He's obviously lying.
Maybe he's traumatized by the accident, I thought.
Always make an excuse for crazy people.
He suddenly said, rising from his chair. He walked into the bedroom, leaving me alone in the living room.
Is his house now?
Growing unease, but I tried to brush it off. I locked the front door and settled on the couch, hoping to get some sleep. I don't recall the exact time, but I felt hot breathe over my face. My eyes snapped open. A woman was standing over me. I realized it was the wife of that man. Her hair was still damp, clinging to her pale face, her eyes wide and unblinking. I nearly screamed, but she quickly pressed her hand over my mouth.
Please, don't scream.
Instantly, boop! Your hands would have been off my mouth. What are you doing? I'm so serious. I don't care. I wouldn't scream. I'd be like, what is you doing? But doing this and saying don't scream. You see how like my shoulder got tight right here? Boom! Her shit would have flew off me, bro. I touching my face, bro. No, like I understand she's in trouble, but grabbing my mouth, if you're not my bitch, don't touch me. I don't play like that.
She begged, her breath hot against my ear. I nodded, frozen with fear. Asked, "Do you want me to call your husband? Are you feeling okay?"
Clearly not her husband.
She leaned in close, her voice shaking as she spoke.
She looked too good for bro.
He's not my husband.
Yep. Damn.
I stared at her in disbelief, my heart pounding in
bro,
my
you
chest.
really think he pulled her? Come on, bro.
Call the cops.
Why didn't
She
y'all
muttered
Ben do
in a
that?
shaken voice. I grabbed my phone, but there was no signal. The storm must have knocked out the tower. Panic bubbled
bro,
up
beat
in
his
me.
ass.
"We need to get to the police station," I
Bro,
whispered.
beat his ass.
He has a knife.
Oh.
She murmured. I nodded grimly,
Go to the kitchen, have a
realizing the
knife battle.
nightmare. My car keys were in the bedroom with the man. With my heart in my throat, I
Shit.
cracked open the bedroom door, my pulse hammering in my ears. The man was asleep, his breathing slow and steady. His damp clothes were scattered around the room.
Bro.
And there, on the nightstand, were the keys, gleaming faintly in the dim light. I took a deep breath and stepped inside, every footfall a potential alarm. The floor creaked beneath my feet. I froze. The man shifted in his sleep, groaning softly, but thankfully he didn't wake. I held
Is
my
it me or is he being a bitch? I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't know, bro. Like me personally, I've spoke about this in other reactions, bro. Like it's fight or flight, bro. I'm not caring about none of that. I'm bull rushing, running in there, grabbing my keys. And if he says, "Hey, what do you think you're doing?" We got to squabble. Jump him. Actually, hey, I know you got kidnapped or whatever, bro, but you can, bro, it's 2 against 1. I don't know. I'm thinking of instantly taking down the target and then getting up out of there. But he creeping around, scared. Like, nah, bro, I'm walking in there, grabbing my keys, and if you wake up, I'll have to handle that shit.
breath as I tiptoed toward the
Or,
nightstand.
hey, my nigga, you gotta get out. Oh, bro, no, I'm not leaving. If you try to pull out that knife, go grab another knife. Have a UK battle.
My hand shaking as I reached for the keys. Suddenly, the man rolled over, and my heart
Me, I'm
nearly
not caring, bro. I'm
stopped.
grabbing my keys.
I ducked,
I'm allowed to grab my
entire
keys.
body tense, my hand clenching the keys.
No,
The
nigga,
man
I'm allowed to grab
exhaled
my keys,
sharply,
bro.
but mercifully, he didn't wake. I crept backward, every muscle screaming, and shut the door behind me with a soft click. I grabbed the woman's hand, and together we bolted for the front door. I unlocked it, and we ran blindly into the storm, sprinting for the car. The drive was a blur. The rain lashed at the windshield, and the wipers struggled to keep up with the downpour.
Damn.
The woman sobbed quietly beside me, her breath hitching in the darkness.
Why she
I
keep
didn't
saying that
stop
shit?
until I saw the flickering lights of the county police station. The officers took her statement. One of them made a call for backup, and they raced to the cabin. But the man was gone.
Obviously.
No sign of him anywhere. No struggle, just the woman's blood, dried on my bed sheets, and a broken wine glass. The next morning, an officer sat me down. "He's a known stalker, Robert Walsh," the officer said. "Escaped custody 2 weeks ago. You're lucky to be alive." The woman thanked me, and her family thought I did some heroic deed that night. But honestly, I did what a sensible human being would have done. I pray to God every single day that the man gets caught.
Oh, he ain't get caught yet. I ain't gonna
As a
lie, I would have been
solo
moving
hiker,
like I
finished
owned
the
the
last
place.
mile
That was a good
with
story,
sort
though.
of breathless excitement. The trail wound up through the trees, opening at the top into a desolate, beautiful quiet. The wind, the needle of the pines, and the long drop past the cliff edge made me choose the spot at my campsite. I was at the perfect place to witness the full sunrise next morning. By the time the sun dropped behind the distant ridge, I was done setting my tent and starting a fire. Sharpening a sturdy twig with my knife, I started roasting my steak on the fire. The sky
having the
above
time of
me
his
soon
life.
got filled with billions of stars. I had a great time for next 4 hours straight. Around 10:30 p.m., I zipped myself into my sleeping bag, imagining
best
the
time of his
dreamy
life.
sunrise I'm about to witness in some hours. I fell asleep. At exactly 2:36 a.m., I woke up, but not because of the sunrise. There were voices outside. Then, I heard slow, deliberate footsteps followed by dragging sound.
Now, in this instance, I would be scared. Now, I ain't even gonna bullshit you. In this scenario, first things first, I don't understand the appeal of camping. In what world you want to go outside, get in a tent, make a fire, and sleep outside in the middle of the... I never understood that, bro. Like, y'all camping people are very brave. Getting bit up by bugs crawling on you. Man, that y'all are brave.
It's getting heavier with each step. We should have buried it down somewhere.
Huh?
Shut up. You always take the easy way out.
I didn't move or even breathe. My heart started hammering in my chest, louder than their steps. I slid forward, inch by inch, until I could peek through the half-zipped gap on my tent. 2 people were out there, a man and a woman. They must be in their mid-30s or so.
What?
They were dragging something heavy, like a duffel bag.
We're almost close to the edge.
The
What?
woman whispered. "Careful now." The man answered, low and quiet. "Spinal cord's already shattered. One good toss and he's gone." I couldn't move, couldn't breathe. Only one clear thought kept rising in my
Nah,
head.
I would be scared as
Are
fuck
they
right here.
dumping a body?
Oh yeah.
They suddenly stopped.
Ain't no fish in there,
The
nigga.
woman looked up and scanned the trees. Her eyes seemed to linger. She said,
You sure we're alone?
The man cocked his head to the side, almost lazily. Thought I'd heard something. I flinched back into the tent like a reflex,
Stop
hands
moving.
over my mouth. I froze there, skin crawling, heart thudding so loud it felt like they'd hear it. The air felt thicker suddenly, dense, wrong. A twig snapped outside, closer than before. I prayed to God that the couple didn't see my tent. After a slight pause, the dragging sound began once again, and I felt my blood flowing again. I peeked again from the gap and saw the couple facing their back at me. Taking this opportunity, I slowly crawled out and quickly moved behind a boulder.
Good.
Even though my tent was behind a tree, I knew it's not safe anymore to stay inside. From
That's
there,
good thinking,
I watched
actually.
them move to the cliff's edge, lifting the bag
Man,
together.
record them.
They didn't hesitate for a second, just heaved and let it fall. A wet thud echoed in the valley. It probably fell into the river, and once again, silence prevailed. The man and the woman looked down like little kids throwing rocks at a stream. Then they looked at each other. In that glistening moonlight, I watched them smile. Then, as if he'd felt me watching, he turned to the boulder and our eyes locked for a fraction of seconds. "I know you're watching us," he said, calm and casual.
Oh, you gotta run.
I
now.
didn't wait.
Yeah.
My legs moved before my mind caught up, and I started to run.
There you go.
I bolted uphill,
Simple run right
pushing
here.
through the trees. My boots hit dirt hard. Branches scraped my arms and face, but I didn't stop. Behind me, flashlights blinked on, cutting through the dark. The woman's
the
voice
hell?
came after me.
Wait, it's not what you think.
Yes, it is.
We've a lot of money. Just talk to us.
I witnessed you throw a body off a cliff, and you talking about money. There's no negotiating with me. You going to jail. You going to jail, bro. Talking about we have a lot of money. No, you don't. You broke. I know you broke. You in the... Come on, bro. Let's not do this.
Stop!
What you mean
I
stop?
didn't look back. I cut left into thicker trees, hoping to lose them in terrain that they didn't know. But deep down, I knew that they knew these woods way better than me.
Damn.
I suddenly tripped and went down hard, mud in my mouth, knees torn apart, but I got up again.
What?
I'm not letting these killers dump a second body down that edge. I kept moving,
Nigga.
kept pushing. Suddenly, a branch cracked to my right. I realized she was circling me. They were splitting up and hurting me.
Yo.
I doubled back, heading for the ridge trail that wound toward the lot where I'd left my car hours earlier. That trail felt like my only shot. Then, something hit me. I felt a hot, sharp sting in my thigh.
If they didn't shoot
A
you, you
rock
gotta
maybe,
keep.
or a knife.
I'm not gonna lie, if that's not a gunshot, you gotta keep walking. You gotta keep running, bro. Your adrenaline should be so crazy right now, you shouldn't even be worried about a rock hitting you. I ain't gonna lie, bro. If it ain't no bullet going through your leg, you shouldn't even be focused on that.
But didn't cry. I quickly rolled into a shallow ditch.
What?
Cracked my body flat against the ground.
Was
so
it a
they
pellet
can't
gun
see
or
me.
something?
Echoes of aimless footsteps passed inches above me.
How could you let him go?
The woman growled. The man's voice stayed even. I don't think he saw our face clearly. Let's leave. I heard them move on, fast and silent like predators. When I got sure that they're gone, I crawled out of the ditch and limped downhill. By the time I saw the dirt road through the thinning trees, the sky had shifted from black to pale yellow. What a magnificent
that's super
sunrise,
that's super
I
early
uttered in
morning.
my head. My car sat like a lifeline in the distance, faint in the growing light. I didn't hesitate, and I ran, limping, stumbling, gasping for breath. But I ran. Every time I looked back, I feared to see the murderous couple chasing me, but they weren't there anymore. I took my keys out, which I luckily took with me before leaving the tent. Fumbling and cursing, I jammed the first key into the lock, flung open the
Ooh,
door,
relax.
and fell into the driver's seat. I kept clicking to start the car when suddenly a face slammed into the passenger window. It was a man. His eyes were wide and wild, blood on his hands, a knife gleaming in one of them. He didn't yell or rage. He just smiled and said something inaudible. I shoved the key in the ignition and turned with a force. Finally, the car roared. The engine caught, tires spun, and gravel flew.
Did he slap? He
I
dumb.
didn't even check the mirrors as I sped.
He a dumb
but
criminal.
as I hit the bend, I caught one last look. They were standing in the dust, both of them, not chasing or waving.
This story 1000% did not happen. I don't believe this story for one bit. I'm not
They
even
were
gonna
just
lie.
standing and watching. I didn't stop driving until I reached the ranger
This
station.
story did
maybe
not
an hour
happen.
later.
I don't care.
Maybe more. I don't remember, as I could barely talk when I stumbled in, blood down my leg, and my face scratched raw. But I told them everything, every word. When they made it back to the cliff, there was nothing at all. No bodies or blood, just my brand new tent, slashed with knife, boot prints, and long, bloody drag marks toward the edge was found. I gave my full report and stayed for hours answering questions. Till today, there's no missing persons, no arrests, and no follow-ups.
But I'm not gonna even lie to y'all. That story is so fake because there's so much technology and so much ways they can find that shit. Especially if there was a body thrown off the cliff. Search, dude. They would have found the body. That's what I say. This story don't make no sense at all. And then the nigga didn't slash the tires. If he really wanted to kill, bro, if he had a knife, he would have just slashed the tires. I ain't gonna lie, bro. This he could have did something, broke the window. He could have poured something in the engine while he was camping. You feel what I'm saying? Like when he was like in the bush. That story makes no sense. And then the police, like, then you see the blood. You can't test the blood. You can't get samples running through a machine, see whose DNA it is. It's like this story did not happen. I'm too smart with this, bro. I know the law.
Screeched to a halt in the
That
middle
story
of
was
nowhere.
trash, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
The brakes wheezed like a dying animal. I stepped out into the cool mountain air, took it in, and instantly
Yeah.
felt eyes on me.
Ooh.
Elena and Goran Karovic were standing a little
Ooh.
too still, with smiles a little too wide. A lean, pale girl who looked like she has just recovered from prolonged sickness.
Nigga, is
stood
that
beside
Wednesday?
them. Her vacant, dark eyes kept scanning me.
Welcome, Amira.
And this bitch looked like the pot of greed, literally. I see that joke a lot, but this is
Mr.
accurate.
and Miss.
This nigga looked familiar. He probably like the back rooms. I can't. He looked familiar.
Karovic. And this is our daughter, Anna.
Her voice thick with an accent that wrapped around my name like fog.
Hope you have a nice time here.
The house was old. The wood of its bones creaked beneath my feet.
Hell
I
no.
noted there were no mirrors on the walls, no clocks, only the sense of herbs and of something decaying, lurking
Ugh.
underneath like meat left to rot on the counter. Dinner was awkward and heavy, the kind of food that sits in your stomach like a boulder. Mr. Karovic kept tapping his fingers the entire time we ate.
I literally wouldn't
It
even
was
eat that
making
shit.
me annoyed, but I had to pretend with a smile.
Who are these people to her?
Milena pressed a cup of tea into my hands after dinner.
You sleep now. Tomorrow we show you the village.
Who are these people?
I didn't want to drink it, but I promised myself I'll let go of my worries and enjoy my first solo eye trip. I was dead asleep when sounds of hushed voices woke me up. At first, I thought I was dreaming, but then the words took shape, something low, guttural, rising and falling like a chant. I tiptoed to my door and crouched down to look out from the keyhole. The hallway was dark, except for some candlelight.
Ritual.
And in that light, I saw them. Milena and Goron circling Anna, forcing something into her mouth and chanting. They were chanting in that creepy language, and it made my skin crawl.
I wonder what language
I must
it
have
was.
coughed or made a noise because they stopped and turned towards my door. But I held my breath
they can't see
until
you.
my lungs burned. And eventually,
Get back in the
after
fucking bed.
many agonizing seconds, the chanting began again. Next morning, everything felt back normal again.
I don't even know how you could. Man, y'all, either this story is just extremely fake or y'all niggas is really stupid, bro. I cannot tell the difference. Dude, if I lick, y'all might think I am joking. Some of y'all would agree with me. Like, I would be out. If I knew rituals was going on in the place I was laying my head at, bro, like, I just don't know how you can sit here and just look in these motherfuckers' faces after that, bro. Y'all.
Milena hummed while frying bread in pork fat, acting
Oh my god, I'm gonna store up. Pork fat? But I'm not gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie, I don't eat pig no more, bro. Everything about a pig make my stomach actually hurts. Bacon, everybody know I hate bacon. Bacon is the most disgusting food on planet Earth. And pig,
like nothing had happened. They even took me to a tour of the village, but it turned out to be quite disappointing to me. The empty streets, shutters pulled down on almost every window, no kids playing on the streets, made me even more doubtful. Did I choose the wrong host? Back in my room, I began looking for answers. I examined the space around me, trying to find proof of travelers
shit.
before me who had stopped to stay with the Karovics. One drawer in the nightstand was stuck, and after a few moments of struggling with it, I finally managed to pull it out hard enough to pop it free. Inside was a stack of the same student-like photos of people like me, smiling faces
All that was
beaming
her.
from a time when the world didn't look down on them with their fears of the future or obligations. As I flipped the stack, the pictures kept getting worse and worse,
What?
with their features becoming washed out like wet paint smeared over canvas. When I reached the last photo, just Milena, grinning, her eyes black as
What did it
pitch,
say?
and written below, "She carries us all." My hands shook, and I realized something's very wrong going on here. That night, I spoke to Mr. Karovic.
A few responsibilities came, hence I have to leave early.
While forcing a smile, his grin widened. "Sure," he said, slippery like his voice. "Maybe you should go to bed early, to wake up early."
No, how about I don't go to bed early? How about I do whatever I want with a grown ass person? How about you do? No, don't suggest me shit. I'm sorry, I'm that type of nigga. Don't suggest me shit. Tell me, how about you go to bed early? And what if I don't go to bed early? You gonna put me to sleep? It's not happening. She's a woman, so this is different. But a nigga like me, what do you mean? I'm not doing that.
After a lot of
And you went to bed. I mean, I guess.
struggle, I finally fell asleep at around 1 a.m. that night. In my sleep, I dreamt of Anna standing over my bed and her eyes glowing in the dark.
That was
I
her.
woke up choking, my sheets damp and covered in small, muddy handprints. I grabbed my phone, flipping the camera to face me, but the screen glitched. In the picture, my reflection stared back, but half my face was wrong. A second mouth stretched beside mine, another eye blinking just above my cheekbone. I dropped the phone with a gasp, but when I looked again, the image was gone, but I knew what I'd seen. Suddenly, a sound of chanting came again, this time louder, pulling me like a fish on a hook. I followed, creeping through the house
I would dive out the
and
window,
out
bro.
into the cold. Behind the barn, torches
The whole
burned in a
fucking
stone
neighborhood.
circle, the villagers standing silent and watching. Anna stood in the center, her body limp and her eyes empty. Just then, Milena addressed the villagers, pointing at me.
Her youth is strong.
She murmured, stepping forward.
She can carry two. Bring her.
Hands grabbed me, dragging me into the circle where Goran smeared ash and crushed bone on my forehead. His breath hot in my ear said, "One gives, one takes, one stays." The world tilted.
What?
My limbs turned to lead and my vision doubled. Anna's face swam in front of me. And then I felt her inside me. A second heartbeat, a whisper in my skull that said,
Let go.
That's bro. She's inside of you. What are you gonna do now? It's over. You said you felt a heartbeat. This is, man. I don't know if this type of shit. Man, I don't know what's going on.
Heartbeat.
I don't know
a
what I'm
whisper
watching.
in my skull that said,
Let go. Be one.
but then I saw Anna's tears. They were real, terrified. I knew she didn't want this. I lunged, knocking over the bowl of fire. The embers exploded, screams tearing through the night. I ran,
wipe that shit off your
branches
head.
clawing at my skin, their howls chasing me.
You must carry us. We are nothing without you.
Oh, we know.
Milena shrieked. That's when I finally saw some headlights cut through the trees, a postal van. I stumbled into the road, my ankles screaming, my breath ragged. The driver's eyes bulged as I collapsed against his door. I sobbed.
Help me, please.
I woke up at the hospital 2 days later. The police
In a
took
coma?
my statement, but their faces said that they didn't believe me. When they came back from the village, they shrugged.
No one by that name lives here.
They said,
The Karaviks moved away years ago.
but I know what I saw. And when I checked my phone, one lost photo had survived. A blurry selfie. My face half melted into Anna's. Now,
That makes this story, again, these two last stories makes no fucking sense. What do you mean that they moved out? Bro, go to the fucking property. I was in a house. I was sleeping in a bed. That shit didn't vanish. They didn't burn it all down. You know, things don't just despawn because you out of range of it. Bro, what do you, like, go fucking do your job. This shit ain't real, bro.
when I look in the mirror too long, something looks back.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, these stories are fake as hell. So I don't know why you're putting true. I be wanting true stories, bro. I don't be wanting cap. But I will say IMR, love the videos. Love the videos, but these stories that you find it are like extremely fake. Dude, it's not my business. I like to look at the comments. You must carry us, no thing. The channel's amazing. I love the channel, but these stories are fake, bro. Shout out to my boy IMR. Scary Tales, man. So I hope y'all enjoyed this, man. Hit the like button. These stories fake but entertaining. Shout out to my boy, the narration, the voice actors. I love that. That shit's always gonna be good. So let me know if y'all want more, man. Hope y'all enjoyed this, man. Hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. And
Thanks for watching.
she just said pussy.